Hello students, this lecture is about combination. The combination is when we select or choose something out of the total. So the formula of the combination is NCR, that is equal to n factorial over r factorial and n minus r factorial. And another formula, if you multiplied r factorial with this NCR formula, so you can see that r factorial will be cancelled out and we're left with n factorial over n minus r factorial, which is actually the permutation. So r factorial times NCR, that is equally NPR. Another formula which is we usually use while solving the questions, which is NCR equal NC n minus R. This formula will be used when we have to prove something and to find some values, so we use in the questions. Let's solve this question. We need to find the value of n. So here NC5 equal NC4. So by using this formula, we can write the left hand side NC5 as NC n minus R. So R is 5 here, which will be NC n minus 5 equals, the other side is NC4, which is already given. Now we need to find n. So NC5 can be equals to 4 by comparison and n equal 9. So same, now we need to find the n value in this part. So here NC10, that is equal to 12 times 11 over 2 factorial. So we need to do 10 factorial multiply and divide so that the factorial form will be complete. So numerator become 12 factorial and denominator is 10 factorial. And to complete the combination formula, we know that here on denominator we usually have n minus r. So 2 can be write as 12 minus 10, which can be considered as n minus r. So it shows that n is 12 here and r is 10 here, which is the formula of 12C10, and on the left side it is NC10. So by comparison, n equals 12. This is the value of n. Here is another example in which we need to identify the value of n and r, and there are two conditions are given where NCR equals 35 and PR equal 210. Using the given NCR equal 35, we will identify the value of n. So open it up, n factorial over n minus r factorial times r factorial equal 35. And by using NPR equal 210, we can identify the other value of R. So it can be open it up, n factorial over n minus r factorial equals 210. This value is look like a same. On the other side, you have n factorial over n minus r, but the extra values r factorial will take it on the other side, which is equals to 35 times r factorial. If we call this as equation number 1 and we plug this value into the form n factorial over n minus r is equal to 210. So using equation 1, 210 equals 35 times r factorial. To find r factorial, we will divide 35, 210 over 35, that is equal to 6. And 6 is actually the 3 factorial. So r factorial equals 3 factorial. It means r is equal to 3. So we got the value of r. Now using the second condition that is given, we will identify the value of n. So put this value in equation number 1 in the place of r. So it becomes n factorial over n minus 3 factorial, that is equal to 210. So we will expand the n factorial so that it will reach to n minus 3. So n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n minus 3 factorial over n minus 3 factorial. Factorial terms will be cancelled out and we will have the term n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 equals 210. Now n times n minus 1, n minus 2 equals 210 can be break as 7 times 6 times 5, which clearly shows if n is 7, so 1 less n minus 1 would be 6, 2 less n minus 2 would be 5. So it gave us n equals 7. Now, for the second part, we need to find the value of n and r again, but here are three ratios. So we will find the value of n and r one by one. First, we consider the first ratio, first two terms with the 3 and 6, and then we take the second two terms to find the value of r by using the 6 and 11 ratio. So let's take one by one these ratios to find the value of n and r. So n minus 1 c r minus 1 ratio and cr, that equal 3 ratio 6. So open it up, n minus 1 factorial, r minus 1 factorial, n minus 1 minus r, and because of minus is plus 1 factorial. Ratio n factorial over r factorial n minus r factorial equals 3 ratio 6. Now we can cancel the value. Minus 1 plus 1 would be cancelled out. And ratio means the numbers are dividing. So if they are dividing, so we can convert into the multiplication and the fraction will be flip over. So it becomes n minus 1 factorial, r minus 1 factorial, n minus r factorial, and it's convert into multiplication, then r factorial, n minus r factorial over n factorial. Same term would be cancelled out. And if we want to cancel n minus 1 factorial, so we expand n factorial so that we can cancel n minus 1 factorial. And denominator same, to cancel r minus 1 factorial, we will expand this r factorial. So it becomes r times r minus 1 factorial. And denominator r minus 1 factorial and expand as n times n minus 1 factorial. And same terms cancel out. On the other side, we have 3 ratio 6. And 3 ratio 6 means 3 over 6, which can be simplified as 1 by 2. So it's 1 ratio 2. So r over n equals 1 over 2. By cross multiplication, we have 2r equals n. So we got the value of n, but this is in the form of r. So now it's time to find the value of r. Let's call it as equation number 1 and take the second part, NCR ratio n plus 1 CR plus 1 equals 6 ratio 11. Now open it up, n factorial over r factorial, n minus r factorial, n plus 1 factorial over r plus 1 factorial, and the subtraction of those, n plus 1 minus r, and because of the minus it's minus 1 factorial, is equal to 6 ratio 11. Now minus 1 plus 1 is cancelled out and this divide is converted into multiplication. So n factorial over r factorial, n minus r factorial, and it's converted into times. This flip over, so r plus 1 factorial will be going on the numerator, and n minus r factorial over n plus 1 factorial equals 6 ratio 11. So now we'll open the values which are bigger so we can expand and we can cancel the factorial terms. So n factorial can be cancelled out if we expand n plus 1. So we will have the n factorial, and same we need to expand r plus 1 so that it will have the r factorial, and n minus r factorial, they will be cancelled out. N factorial over r factorials times, we will expand this one, so r plus 1 times r factorial and plus 1 times n factorial. Same terms cancel out, 6 ratio 11, which is 6 over 11. So r plus 1 over n plus 1 equals 6 over 11. So by plugging the value of n, which is 2r, using equation number 1, r plus 1 over 2r plus 1 equals 6 over 11. By simplifying, we do the cross multiply. So r plus 1 is multiplying with 11. So 11r plus 11 equal 12r plus 6. So it would be 11 minus 6 equals 12r minus 11r, which is equals to 5 equals r. So r we have 5. So we can find the value of n by using this r. So plug in equation number 1. So n equals 2r, which will be n equals 2 times 5 and n equal 10. In this question, they are saying how many diagonals and triangle can be found by the polygon of 5 sides, 8 sides, and 12 sides. So as we know that a polygon with the 5 sides, if it has 5 sides, so it means it must have the 5 vertices. So for the first part, to find the number of diagonals, as we know that the diagonal is like a line. So each line needs 2 vertices. So to make a line, if we need 2 vertices and total vertices are 5, so we need to choose 2 vertices out of the 5. So total line segment will be 5 choose 2. This is equals to 10. So total line segments are 10 in polygon for 5 sides. But we only concern about diagonals. These 10 line segments including the surrounding sides as well. So to find only inside lines, which are the diagonals, we will subtract all the surrounding sides. As we know, there are total 5 sides. So we subtract all 5 sides from these 10 lines. So the rest will be the diagonals. So the number of diagonals can be found by 10 minus 5, which is equals to 5. Now to find how many triangles in this polygon. So as we know that a triangle can be formed by using 3 vertices. So out of the 5 vertices, if we choose 3 vertices, so it would be 5C3, which is equals to 10. There are 10 triangles in the polygon of 5 sides. Same you can solve for 8-side polygon and 12-side polygon. In this question, they said the member of the club have 12 boys and 8 girls. So we have to choose the 3 boys and 2 girls out of the 12 boys and 8 girls. So total boys are 12 we have, and we have to choose 3 boys. So it will be 12C3, that is equal to 220. And the girls total are 8 girls, and we need to choose 2 girls from them, and it would be 8 choose 2 8C2, which is 28. So the total committee members, by choosing 3 boys and 2 girls together, we will multiply these to 220 times 28, which is equals to 6160. You must be thinking that why we didn't add and we focused on multiplication, because when we have to choose two things together, so we use the multiplication. Keep in mind. Here is another question. This is we need to prove by using the formulas. So NCR plus NCR minus 1 equal N plus 1 CR. So we take the left hand side, NCR plus NCR minus 1. Open it up, N factorial R factorial N minus R factorial plus N factorial R minus 1 factorial N minus R plus 1 factorial, and n factorial over, open it up, r times r minus 1 factorial and n minus r factorial as it is here, plus n factorial over r minus 1 factorial, and we expand this. Next term would be 1 less from this, which will be n minus r. So n minus r plus 1 times n minus r factorial. Now from the both terms, the same term will be take as common, n factorial over r minus 1 factorial times n minus r factorial, and the rest of term would be 1 over r plus, in this you have 1 over n minus r plus 1. So n factorial over r minus 1 factorial n minus r factorial, and taking the LCM, it would be n minus r plus 1 plus r over r times n minus r plus 1. So same term would be cancelled out and we're left with n plus 1 times n factorial. On the denominator, we have r times n r minus 1 factorial and n minus r plus 1 times n minus r factorial. So we'll complete the factorial form. The numerator, it will be complete as n plus 1 factorial. On the denominator, we will have the complete of r factorial and the factorial of n minus r plus 1. To prove the right hand side, I will rearrange this form into n plus 1 factorial over r factorial, and it would be made as n plus 1 minus r factorial. And this is the formula of n plus 1 CR, which is the right hand side. This is the whole way to solve the combination method using formulas and some strategies. Thank you so much for watching my video.